I'm pissed. Let me be pissed.
It seems like you're upset.
Not upset. You're catching me at a time where, the last week or two we've had a lot of application seasons firing, and we've had a forum thread that came about, and someone was saying, spent $150 and he's so disappointed. Eastman's, they were referencing Eastman's, not to pick on Eastman's, but Eastman shows 35% draw odds for this hunt code, and GoHunt shows 100%. Eastman's must be right. They've been around longer. Disappointed in GoHunt. And for a guy who is so passionate about what we've built, I mean, everyone is in this entire office, but we live and breathe this stuff. That one stings because you're just going, whoa, whoa, whoa. They are wrong. We are right.
Draw odds are the top of mind for everybody in the industry right now because we're all trying to get our applications in for majority of the states. Utah just opened, Arizona's actually closed now. It's top of mind for all the states opening up. And we, for good reason, have received some criticism with our numbers being under a microscope because we're new and we differ from everybody else. But going back to the start of this whole thing, there's a reason why it took us 2 years to get draw odds live on our site. And it's for the reason that if we wanted to come out with draw odds, we couldn't just have simple odds like the rest of the industry or have odds, the same as it's always been done. We wanted to do them differently. We wanted to do them better. So we took 2 years to go out and find the people, the data scientists, put them in a room with Brandon Evans, myself, Brady Miller, some of the other hunters in the office. And the goal was to come out with something brand new and better. Tried to find out a way to get them more accurate. How can we possibly get them more accurate so then we can up what's expected of the entire industry.
As a hunter coming from that background, having a guy that says he's a data scientist, who knows what that is. But man, when we started working together, he started putting some algorithms together and some equations, and he would just sit and listen to how we had been doing it, and he would explain, in all reality, to get more accurate than what you've been doing, we need to do this, we might need to do a model, we might need to run a million simulations of the actual draw process to get, an accurate odds.
Without going too much into detail, because we are allowed to actually say his name, by the way, so you could kind of say our data scientist is X, say his name.
Who is our data scientist, has been an incredible resource for us from day one. And it was really impressive just right off the bat with how quickly he was able to, completely on his own, go through the different state department websites and figure out what data he needed, what was relevant, what was not. He's been working hand in hand with both the technology side and with the hunting side. It's just the sheer amount of time that goes into these. So there are thousands of man hours that go into it, but there are many more thousands of computing hours. He spins up these giant servers, all these cores, like all this computing power that goes into crunching these numbers to run millions of simulations. And that's the real secret behind how we're able to get such detailed and accurate odds for states that it's never been done for before.
I'm not going to say we're perfect. We've definitely taken this to a point where it is the most accurate in the industry, hands down. But competition in a lot of ways, us being new and coming out with a new draw odds product and creating this competition of draw odds, the consumer at the end is going to benefit from it because either our competitors are going to up their game and try to keep up with us, or they're not, but we are going to continue to up our game and figure out how to get these things more accurate and more accurate and more accurate to one day, which seems like a fairy tale of a thing to say, but one day hopefully have predictive draw odds where we can now predict the next year's odds.
Their little disclaimer for draw odds is the draw odds we list are calculated by dividing the number of first choice applicants by the number of tags issued. This will give you a basic idea of the demand for a particular hunt. It is not possible to calculate your true draw odds. This is due to the fact that each applicant has 5 choices and Nevada only lists how many applicants applied using their first choice in each unit.
So for an example of what happens in Nevada when you only have first choice instead of first through 5th choice is take Hunter's Trailhead, and not to call them out specifically, but that's one of the leaders in draw odds for the industry and has been for the last couple of years. They have first choice only, and take mule deer as a resident in the early rifle hunt in unit 114 through 115, which typically isn't going to be the first choice of an applicant, just because it tends to have better draw odds than those super high-end hunts like 231 deer or 241 through 245 deer. So they are showing an 80% success rate as a resident with 1 bonus point, taking first choice only into consideration. Now with us, with first through fifth choice, we're showing a 9% chance of drawing the tag at 1 point per resident. It's a pretty big difference when you take in first through fifth choice. That's how much it can sway those hunt types when you take in that full data set.
Huntful, January 2017, Arizona. We're looking at Unit 1, one of their top picks. It says 6% odds. At what point level, we don't know. They have, in quotations, simple draw odds, which aren't actual draw odds.
You and the data scientist developed a very special, hard to pronounce, a algorithm or program that enables you guys to have accurate draw odds.
Yes. It's been about 9 months since I last had to pronounce it out loud. It's the hypogeometric Wallenius distribution model.
What it does is it allows us to even out the trend, if you will. So when you take 1 year's worth of data, you put it into a model, you run it 1,000,000 times, it evens out your curves and takes all the outliers, those hunts that might have been just skewed for 1 year, it evens them out so we can give a true odds. The problem that I see with Eastman's is they just regurgitate the state report. And there are some variances that we found on the state report. The percentage issued on, or the percentage given on the state report, takes the tag quota, which they set before the draw happens, and they take the tag quota and the total applicant, and they convert that into a draw odds. What the state of Wyoming does is they, in a lot of instances, particularly with the special draw in elk, they issue more permits than the quota. So you could have an example like hunt area 114 with the type 1 permit. In the special draw, at 8 points they have 1 permit available. So the quota is 1 permit. They actually issued 3 permits at that point level. So there were only 3 applicants in this example. So all 3 of those applicants drew permits. So in a sense it was 100% draw odds. But the report and what Eastman's is going to publish shows that there was 1 permit and 3 applicants, so it would have been a 33% chance draw. That's a huge difference. When I'm looking at a unit to draw, and I was, if I was sitting at 8 points, that might be a unit that I cross off, because 33% chance, not that great. 100% chance is probably one I'm going to focus on.
I was just so used to the old school ways, like these guys have been around for 25 years, this is the way it's going to be, which is like, we obviously bucked that trend by taking the time to dig into the reports and figure out the weird nuances of how the systems work so you can go hunting more. That's like my biggest thing is I'd rather be out in the field than have you give me false data.
No matter what, we were not just going to produce something to have it on the site to say we have it as a company. That was never going to be something we were going to do. And we caught some flack for it in the beginning of creating this company that we didn't have draw odds because it's a basic need of a Western hunter, and I fully agree that is a basic need of a Western hunter. But a basic draw odds is not a need. That does not get the job done.
There's this phrase that is technically what we use, and it's like ridiculous. What's it called? It's like
Oh, dude, the
hypo. It's like
Oh yeah, the hyperwallenius something. Yeah, geometric. Yeah, don't even know how to do it any further than that.
Hypogeometric something, and so yeah, he knows. I can watch it run on the simulations, but yeah, I can't say it.
The long-range hunter took care of business. So why are we so obsessed with custom-built rifles? Let's consider the theory of incremental gains, the idea that owning something 1% better can make a world of difference. To better understand, let's look at another market, televisions. Right now you have the option to buy an HD or 4K television. HD projects a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, while 4K has a resolution of 3840 by 2160, twice as much as the HD TV. But does that mean